Maganda, Omaga folks, how are you? Good morning to everybody. It's um it's early in the morning here in Louisville, Kentucky, but that's okay. Sometimes I can't sleep. I'm restless. I think a lot. So I wanted to talk about how my 2 month trip to the Philippines went this year. I always go at the end of December. I leave on my mom's birthday, which is December 27th. And the reason for that is I I take 3 months off from work. I have lung issues, and here in Kentucky, it gets really cold, and I have a hard time breathing and stuff. I've ended up in the hospital a few times because of it. So, for the past 10 or so years, I've been taking time off from the cold. When I owned my restaurant, Lolita's Tacos, Mexican food, I've owned that restaurant from 1988 to 2017. And all those times I would close the restaurant for a month. Granted, I would have done more, but it's hard when you run a business to close it any more than a month. I mean, even then, it was tough because customers would ask, why don't you keep it open? And you're closing it for a month. That's crazy. And the reason I wouldn't keep it open is because if I can't be there, I can't give my customers 100%. You know how workers are. I mean, you have good workers and you have your lazy workers, and some workers don't care if your customers don't come back. And, that's my bread and butter, repeat customers. So I would rather close it and lose income than close it and lose customers because of the way they're treated, because some staff members don't care if you lose customers or not. All they care is a paycheck. They don't care about anything else. So I would close my restaurant for a month, but I would suffer, for the next 2 months. I'd try to stay out indoors all the time, which is tough to do when you have to get up 6 in the morning and go buy produce and whatever you need for the restaurant. So when I closed my restaurant in late December of 2017, I decided to get a job where I can take more time off. And as you know, I got a CDL license, was a commercial driver's license, and I went to school, passed my test, got my license, and started working for a trucking company, a major, big trucking company. And I did that for almost a year, but I didn't like the fact that I had to sleep in the cab every night, which is kind of uncomfortable. And again, sometimes it's cold and I have to keep the engine running so I can stay warm. And it was hard on my lungs when it was cold because I went through different states driving, delivering. Mostly I delivered for Home Depot. That was my main route. That's all I delivered was for Home Depot, a full truck full of Home Depot products that they need. So I quit doing that after less than a year and decided that I want to drive something local. So I found a company that I like, IMI Concrete, which you see all the emblems in the back and all my little souvenirs of my company. Well, I would deliver concrete on a mixer truck. And I've been doing that. This is going to be my 4th year. And when I got hired on, I made sure to tell them that I needed at least 3 months off of the year. It was 4 when I mentioned it, but I cut it down to 3 because of my lung issues. And, you know, my boss, he said he'll see what he can do, and okay, so I got the job and I started working for them. And the first year went fine. I was able to get my 3 months off under the Family Care Act law, where you can take time off because of your sickness or whatever health issues you have. So I've been doing that for the past 3 years. It's been working fine. So anyways, back to how my trip, that is the reason why I'm able to take 2 months to the Philippines and go meet Jennifer when we were long distance relationship for almost 2 years, a little under 2 years before we met. We couldn't meet because of the COVID. So I had to cancel my flight that I had ready to go, and couldn't go. So this is my second time of seeing Jennifer for 2 months, and I'm gonna let you know that I had a great time this year. It was easier to get things done. I'm learning the process, the ER code, e-travel to the Philippines. We all have to get e-travel. It's easy to do, maybe less than 10 minutes to do. You just have to key in all the things that they need. It's very simple. You guys don't forget your e-travel, e-pass that you need to fly to the Philippines. The airlines will not tell you that you need it. It's your job to look it up and figure it out. It's very simple. You can go to Google and ask, what do I need to travel to the Philippines? And it'll explain there everything. It's very simple. So I've been doing that for the past 2 years. It's easy. So I flew to Manila, which is, I left here December 27th and I arrived in Manila December 28th. Everything went fine. I had Jennifer waiting for me, not like last year when she was almost an hour late, not really an hour, but she wasn't there for me the first year we met. She was late due to the grab that she didn't anticipate the slowness of getting through traffic when you're flying to the airport. Plus, she took her mom as an escort because since she didn't know me, she had to take mom with her, which was okay with me. I wanted her to feel safe and comfortable meeting me the first time last year. So mom tagged along and we got along fine. She stayed with us for a week and then she went back home. And we continued on with our vacation last year. So back to this vacation, everything went smooth. So I arrived, I met with Jen at the airport. We went to our first condominium. I like using Airbnb to rent my condominiums because they're pretty decent. I know they have these rate fares that you have to pay, but that's common. It is what it is. They're doing you a service. It ain't all that much. And they do help you if you're not happy with the location. Like when we arrived and Jennifer already got the location and she already went into the condominiums before I arrived. So she already had everything ready. So she even had a little sticker on the wall, little paper thing, welcome home or something like that. I forget what it was. It was pretty sweet of her. But so we stayed for a week in Manila, and then we took the Victory Liner bus, which is like Greyhound of the Philippines, and we took that to Olongapo, Barrio Barreto. It was less than 2 hours. We took the express. I think it was real fast. I was anticipating a 3-hour bus ride because that's what we took last year. We didn't take the express. And this year we took the express, and I think it was under 2 hours. It was quick. So we got to our first location that I rented through Airbnb, and it was somewhere in Barrio Barreto. And this place, I tell you, it sucked. It was nasty. The chairs were dirty. The sheets had hole in them. All the utensils that we had to eat were disgustingly rusted, dirty. Jennifer had to clean everything, every dish, every fork and knife, everything, just to make sure that we were safe. But the doors didn't have extra locks. They were broken, the front and the back door. The extra latch were broken. You could hardly secure the door. It was terrible. The refrigerator was nasty. The bathroom leaked so bad that we had to call them to come fix it. So they fixed it. You think it would have been fixed before we got there? No. As soon as we got there, we noticed the bathroom leaking. And then after an hour from being there, there was even cockroaches dead on the floor. I killed one myself. And after an hour of being in that location, I was getting sick. My eyes were getting watery. I was getting itchy, sort of like I'm allergic to cats, and I was getting that feeling of getting sick. And I don't know what it was, but I was feeling miserable. And this is like the first hour being there. And I'm like, man, I can't stay here 12 days. I booked that place for like 12 days. And the first few hours I was getting sick. And I told Jennifer, I can't stay here. We're going to have to leave tomorrow. We got to find a new place. So I started Airbnb, sending them pictures of the location, how disgusting it was, how dirty it was, and how I was getting sick, and it was terrible. I think the place had a lot of mold, but it's covered up in paint, so you really couldn't tell, because my lungs are real sensitive, so I was really getting sick. So after 6 or more hours with Airbnb, texting them back and forth, sending them proof of the location, because the owner of the property, whoever ran the Airbnb site for the location, would not let me leave, would not let me give me a refund. They said it was sorry. They had, you get like a 1 month before you can cancel. So you have a month before you can cancel and get your refund back. But how do you know the location's any good when you get there? So, I didn't have that 1 month span. So I had to go through Airbnb and complain and show them pictures. And after over 6 hours, Airbnb agreed with me that the place was not livable. Plus I was getting sick. So they reached the landlord, and they told him that they're going to refund me all the days except for this one night, our first night. They charged me something like $20, which was, I think, half of the night that I stayed there. So I had to stay and sleep there that night, which I really couldn't sleep. I was tossing and turning, and I was sneezing and blowing my nose. I was really, really in bad shape. So the next day we got the hell out of there, folks. It was a mess. We were happy that I got a refund. I rented that other location through Airbnb, which we did a video on, the first place that we were at in Barrio Barreto. After that, it was smooth sailing. It was a nice location. We showed it to you where it used to be a Sorry store, and they turned it into a Airbnb 2-bedroom apartment. We only had 1 bedroom to use, but it cost even more money to rent that place. But I didn't mind. It was nice. It was clean. So we moved into that location. We had a good time there. They didn't have any water bottle, the 5 gallons. So we asked a caretaker if they can get us a 5 gallon thing. They had one in storage, so they gave us one, and everything went smoothly. We were happy. Had a good old time in Barrio Barreto. We stayed in Barrio Barreto for those first 12 days. And we walked around the area, a lot of walking around. And we ended up walking down by the coast. And we saw this place called Seascape Inn. And there was a girl sitting down there, and you could see the ocean side from the outside of the road, and we're like, wow, that looks nice. And this girl, I guess, worked there. She was waving us in, and so Jennifer goes, hey, she's calling us to come look. So we went and looked, and she showed us the area, and we went up to the third floor, and she showed us the room there, and man, I fell in love with the location, the view of the sea and everything. And the room wasn't all that. It didn't have a kitchen, which was kind of not very good for us because we like to cook. But it did have a kitchen outside that it was a community kitchen that everybody can use. It was in a little room. You'd have to go all the way downstairs. Mind you, this was on the third floor. We'd have to take everything downstairs and go to the kitchen and cook. They did have barbecuers too. So the rate was like $50 a night for this location. And I really didn't mind because of the view. So me and Jennifer looked at it and we both liked it. The room, like I said, wasn't all that, but didn't have what we wanted. But it didn't even have connection for Netflix or YouTube, or no connection on the TV. It wasn't a smart TV. So we anticipated renting that location. So Jennifer got on to her Shopee, which is like the Amazon of the Philippines. Shopee. Jennifer is a member of Shopee, so she gets good rates. And she bought one of those sticks, those connection sticks that you hook into the TV, and it'll give you Netflix and all these apps that you can connect to for your TV. So we ordered that before we even got to this new location. I decided to rent the room for 36 nights because they gave us a half price deal if we rented for over 30 days. Actually, for a month, the price dropped for half price. So instead of $50 a night, it was like under $25 a night. So I'm like, I'm going to jump on that. Let's get it for more. So I got it for 7 nights, which they didn't give me the cheaper rate on the next 6 nights because they said it has to be 30 days or more. So, and I'm like, well, it is 30 days or more. It's 36 days, 37 days. They said, no, it's for the first 30 days. And then the other 6 nights, we'd have to pay the regular price, which was like $2,500 a night. And she let us have it for 2,000 pesos a night, which was cool. So we stayed there for, I believe it was 36 or 37 nights, but we had a blast. It was worth every penny of it. I recommend it. Just don't go there in January and February because that's going to be what we're going to do every year, hopefully, if we don't change our mind. So we stayed there for the 37 nights or days, and it was great. I mean, I had a blast. And to get my exercise, I decided I'm going to take a walk every morning. I would wake up at 7 in the morning and take a 40-minute walk. You guys seen my walk and talk video, walking with my thought video. Go look it up. It's the walk that I would take every morning. Sometimes I would stop at Mickey D's, or in the Philippines, they call it McDo's for short. McDo's. Let's go to McDo's. So I would stop at McDo's and get me a McMuffin and a coffee and sit there for 15 minutes and eat it. And then I continue on to my walk. So I did that as a routine every morning. It would the sun would start hitting pretty strong, but I always took a nice cold water with me. Jennifer would sleep in most of the time, and sometimes she'd ask me, "Do you want to go?" And of course, I don't mind being with Jennifer. Of course not. So I would say, "Yeah, let's go." And for her, it was a struggle walking that far and in the sun. And she would always say, "Let's walk towards the shade on the shady side." And I would always have to worry about her in traffic because I like her to walk on the inside of the sidewalk. So if a car were to come or a jeepney were to come at us, I would be the one to get hit first, and I could move her more to the side of the road and, try to protect my baby. And she would forget, and I would always be telling her, "Baby, you got to walk on this side or walk on the inside of the sidewalk." And that would be my issue. And she would be sweating the load walking. And so I kind of like walking by myself. It gives me a reason to think and strategize of what we're going to do for the day or whatever. So every morning I would get up at 7 and get ready for my walk. And most of the time she would just stay there and sleep. And sometimes she'll ask me, "You want me to go with you?" And I would say, "No, baby, you just stay here and relax. You know how you are. You don't like walking in the sun and it bothers you." And she knew that it was true, so she would stay. And then sometimes I would say, "Yeah, if you want to, but try to remember to stay on the inside of the sidewalk and make sure you take a hat." But most of the time I would do my walk by myself. So that was fun. I did that for a while, a lot of walking. Every morning I would walk. I would stop by. I would ask Jennifer, "What do we need for the day?" And I would go to the marqueta, the palanque. I think it's the palanque, which is the market. And I would buy the produce that we need or whatever fish or shrimp that we were going to have for that day. Stop by the Pure Gold and get what we need for the day. And it was fun. It was my daily routine. And that went on for the duration of staying at Barrio Barreto. But while I was in Barrio Barreto, I got pink eye the first week in Barrio Barreto. I got pink eye. You guys seen my video. I couldn't find a doctor in the hospital. They sent me to Olongapo at St. Jude. They couldn't help me there. They sent me across the street. They couldn't help me there. So I finally said, "Forget it. Let's just go get me some Visine and maybe it'll get the red out and take care of my pink eye," because I was seeing fogginess. So I did that while I was in Olongapo trying to get to a doctor there, and with no luck, I happened to take my passport because I had a feeling I wasn't having any luck finding somebody to take care of my pink eye. So we went to the immigration that they have at SM Mall on the 5th floor and took care of my extension, my 29 extension day, which it was quick, folks. I tell you, it was less than 10 minutes. I was in and out of there, paid $60, under $61, got my extension visa for 29 days. It was very easy to get. Just take your passport and under 3,200 pesos. It was easy breezy, Eloise. I was there. Jennifer said, "I'm going to the bathroom." She went and found a bathroom. By the time she got back, I was sitting down outside waiting for her because I was done. It was incredible. Easy weasy. So we went back to Barrio Barreto, had a good time, ate crabs 3 times. The crabs were fantastic, real cheap. I think I spent under $35 for 5 or 6 crabs each time. In the US, a big crab like about this much, it costs you like $30. I ended up getting 5 or 6 crabs each time for that price. So my trip to Barrio Barreto, Olongapo, was fantastic. We had a great time. Me and Jennifer are getting used to each other. We know we maybe had a few arguments, and she would give me the silent treatment, and I took it as, oh well, it's a vacation from each other, so it wouldn't last more than a couple of hours, and she'd get over it, and we'd be back to lovey-dovey and laughing about our stupidity. But we're getting used to each other. She knows what I like, I know what she likes, and every department, folks, what we like eating, what we don't. She's a coffee drinking fool. She would drink 6 cups of coffee if I would let her. And even the child that she takes care of, we call him Jay. He's 8 years old. He gets on Jennifer for drinking coffee all the time. So he tells her, you could only have 2 coffees a day, Jennifer. And that's what I try to do for Jennifer when we were together. Only 2 coffees a day, but sometimes it wouldn't work out. She'd get 2 to 4 coffees a day. And, I don't mind. We were on vacation, so we can splurge. I let her splurge. Sometimes I would want a Coca-Cola because their Pepsi doesn't taste like Pepsi in the Philippines, but the Coke does. So I would get a little, like an 8-ounce bottle of Coca-Cola, and I would drink that with ice. And, she gets on me for too much sugar, which is terrible for you folks. Get rid of sugar in your life. That's destroying our health. But anyways, I would get like 1 a week just for the sugarness and the taste, and she would allow me to have it. So that was my sugar intake. Sometimes she'll make these little ice cream. Jennifer would make these mango ice creams in the little plastic bags. She says that you could sell them for 10 or 20 pesos. She'd actually want to sell them, and I say, no, baby, we don't need the money. We don't need to sell them. We'd give them away sometime to kids that were swimming below us, and when we were in that Seascape Inn, excuse me. But we got comfortable with each other. Everything went well. I wasn't sick anymore after putting those eye drops. I was feeling good. But then one night, I got sick as a dog. I don't know what I ate, or I think they might have used bad water, not purified water, distilled water, and I got food poison. For the past 12 hours, I was getting the chills. I was throwing up. I had diarrhea. I was miserable for like 12 hours. I would wake up shaking with coldness, and then she would cover me up, and then 5 minutes later, I'm burning up, and I'm taking all the sheets and blankets off of me and lay there naked because I was burning up. And then 10 minutes later, I'm shivering again. And it went on like that for good 10 hours. I was diarrheaing, and then I started puking everything I ate. I was really in bad shape for 12 hours. I was miserable. I don't know what it was that I ate. I thought it was this sweet bread that I bought on one of my walks at the bakery, at the panaderia. I forget what it was called, but I thought it was that. So I didn't eat any more of that, nor did I even buy any more of those. When what we did have, I threw them away. And I did get better after a day. I started feeling better. She went to the pharmacy and bought me these little vials to soothe my stomach and get rid of my diarrhea. I think we spent something like 1,000 pesos for medicine. It was over the counter. She didn't need a prescription for one of the stuff that we did need a prescription. It was some kind of kill bacteria or something, some kind of penicillin thing that I had to take. And they gave it to her. She explained what it was, and the pharmacist gave it to her, and we were able to get it without a prescription. But she took care of me really good, folks. Jennifer was amazing. I couldn't find a better woman. I mean, I got so lucky that I found Jennifer. She proved to me that she will take care of me when I get sick and old. Yeah, she's a good woman, folks. But anyways, I got better. Everything went well. Our trip in Barrio Barreto was fantastic. We left Barrio Barreto after those 37 nights in Seascape Inn and went back to Manila and stayed in Pasay, Philippines, which is right close to the airport. We stayed there 3 nights. It was great. Nice location. We showed you right there by the Mall of Asia. You guys saw our videos. We stayed there for 3 nights. It was fantastic. Nice location. Did a lot of walking. This time she went with me because it was a nice walk to Mall of Asia. We had a good time. And of course, then I had to make it back home after 59 nights in the Philippines. I came back, everything went smooth. You know, I had a delay in the Philippines. The flight, I got there so early that I had over 2 hours to kill. So I went into the first class lounge and kicked back and ate food and had a few drinks. I drank Black Label Johnny Walker, folks. For the first time I ever drank Black Label Johnny Walker, and I tell you, it was great. I never had that. I think it's my preferred liquor. I used to drink Jack Daniels and water, you know, JD and water, and now that I tasted Black Label Johnny Walker, I think I'm switching. If I ever want to drink a little bit, it's going to be Johnny Walker Black Label. It's expensive. It's like $70 a bottle in the US. I think it could be a little more versus Jack Daniels, like $40. So anyways, my flight went well. Everything went great. Got home that night, 11 p.m. or a little later. Probably got home around almost midnight. I got Taco. I got to see Taco that night. He was happy. I was happy with my baby, my little Chihuahua, and everything went smooth. So I guess planning is the main thing. Any expats that's flying to another country, just Google what you need. Google. And I know some people don't like Airbnb, and there are pros and cons, but I found more pros than I do find cons. They do work with you when you're not happy with the location or it's not up to par. They do work with you. You can get a refund on locations. You just have to explain what's going on. But that was my trip, my 2 months. It was short. It went by quick. And me and Jennifer had a good time. We're actually getting to know each other more and more each time. And it's like I've known her for years. I love that woman. She's a good woman and she deserves a good life. And I'm going to give her a good life. She deserves it. She's a workaholic. She's an entrepreneur. She loves to make money and loves to save money. What more can you have? This woman saves money from Shopee. She makes money from Shopee, folks, and she doesn't spend it. She saves it. I won't tell you how much she has saved because it's nobody's business, not even mine, but she tells me, and she makes me proud that she's a saver, not a spender. And that's what I want in my life, somebody that doesn't abuse money just because you have it. You have to think about your future. And when you get old, you got to have that money. And I'll take care of my baby and she'll take care of me. She proved that when I was sick. I love you, baby. Thank you, Jennifer, for being a good woman. Thank you. But anyways, folks, God bless you all. I want to thank my 1,000 plus subscribers. Keep on subscribing, new people. I love the Philippines. I love the people. One day I'm going to be a full American Filipino. But thank you. Take care. Palam palam. Arrivederci. Hasta luego. Sayonara. God bless you all. Be kind to others. If you can help other people, help them. If you can afford a few bucks, help, especially in the Philippines. People need our help. We're 10 times richer than most people out there with our money. Our money goes a long way. And if you can, help others in the Philippines. Be kind, folks. Be kind to others. Do unto others what you want them to do to you, is my philosophy. But anyways, take care. And like they say in other YouTube channels, don't forget to subscribe and like and ring the bell. Bing, bing, bing. Take care, folks. Hasta la vista. Bye-bye. Thank you, folks.